Samsung Galaxy A22 shares many of its specifications with the Galaxy M32. However, instead of receiving a textured back panel, Galaxy A22 follows the footsteps of its elder and premium siblings, the A52 and A72, which include a rather smooth back panel. The A22 uses a plastic frame and plastic body, which is probably the distinction between this and its previous predecessors in terms of looks. The back is smooth and glossy, which means you could end up with some fingerprint marks and smudges. Luckily, you can easily wipe them off. The edges are curved and have to say, it definitely enhanced usability. The phone has a weight of just 200 grams, which makes it lighter, and the combination of a lighter phone with a larger display and curved edges really sells it for me. One thing that I really appreciate that Samsung did is a side power button fingerprint scanner, which I hope more and more manufacturers do because it's just extremely convenient. There's also a 3.5mm headphone jack, which is always welcome, especially at a budget price point. Taking a look at the front of this device, you can count on that teardrop notch screen. You are getting 6.6 inches, which outputs a 90Hz refresh rate at a 1080p resolution combined with some pretty good brightness settings. The bezels aren't that pronounced, although the chin is considerably thick, but for the price point, it's not a major deal breaker. The teardrop shaped notch doesn't take up a huge area of the screen, although it is outdated and smartphones nowadays have a hole punch cutout. Viewing angles on this display is great and colors simply pop out and are vibrant, which is expected for a Samsung panel. So if you're watching movies or just scrolling through social media, this is going to be a pretty decent panel. In terms of raw power, the A22 5G smartphone equips a 7nm MediaTek Dimensity 700 5G chipset that handles all aspects of performance with precision. The device comes in a bunch of different storage variants, starting with 64 gigs of space, which includes 4 gigs of RAM. You can even go further up with 6 gigs of RAM that gives you 128 gigs of storage, whereas the highest storage variant comes with 8 gigs of RAM at 128 gigs of internal storage. There's also a Mali G57 GPU for gaming and heavy use, and it actually performed pretty well when I was gaming on this device. Speaking of performance, this performed very well under heavy usage, and I had a lag-free experience with no stutters. Multitasking on this device is a breeze due to how well the device is optimized. Overall, I had no issues while using this device daily, and I hope we get to see more of the MediaTek processor in future budget smartphones. The Android 11 software layer provides some subtle features and customization options, but what makes the Android ecosystem even more special is its One UI interface. With this interface, you can deploy heavy customization and you won't find any bloatware or ad notifications here. In short, your day-to-day use will be pretty uncomplicated. I'm glad to hear that Samsung has confirmed that this device will be supported with 2 years of major Android OS upgrades and 3 years of security updates. This is a huge deal for Galaxy A22 users as it promises years of support after the purchase. The A22 comes with a triple camera system that includes a 48 megapixel main camera, 5 megapixel ultra wide lens, and 2 megapixel depth sensor. The primary sensor captures quality shots in daylight. I found all the shots impressive and the sensor retained most details. Color optimization was on point and the output was saturated. The primary sensor doesn't take time to focus on objects and it processes better skin tones. You can get 2x, 4x, and up to 10x digital zoom with the primary sensor. And you can shoot at just over 1080p at 30 FPS, but considering the lack of image stabilization, the videos are janky and unstable, to be honest with you. The ultra-wide snapper captures a much wider array than the primary sensor. The sensor does a really good job at retaining all the details. I have to say, in daytime photography is where the device really has an upper edge over others. Now, photos using the front camera are also pretty nice and you can take quality shots with it. It retains most detail in daytime shots and skin tones were well processed. Overall, this device has a pretty good camera system, but I hope to see better video capabilities in the next iteration. Moving on, you are getting an excellent 5000 mAh battery, which will provide robust screen time so you can fully enjoy watching videos and checking your social media feed without any problems. Plus, you can play some light games without worrying about battery life. In addition, the Samsung Galaxy A22 5G comes with 15 watt of fast charging, which is great to see. With that said, you can expect this device to last maybe even 2 days of light usage and a full day of heavy usage. Overall, the A22 is a pretty solid device with a great panel and is hiccup free for the most part. I am curious to see actually how it performs in the long run. Let me know if that's something that you want to see a video on. Anyway, the only downgrade is the camera, which can be a major downside for some users. So hopefully we see something better in the next iteration. Now, reasonably priced smartphones with 5G are becoming a commonplace, with multiple companies launching models that cost less than the equivalent of $300 over the last month, including Xiaomi, Realme, and Poco. It's a trend we expect to continue throughout the year, driven by the chips like the MediaTek Dimensity 700 and the Qualcomm Snapdragon 480. Thank you so much for watching this video. Once again, I'm Victor Kamanga. I look forward to seeing all of you in the next video. Bye.